What's up, everyone? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Seder. I want to wish everyone a very happy Book Lovers Day. It is now officially my new favorite holiday. So, to celebrate, I thought I would share with you guys my top 5 favorite book series. I was gonna just do top 5 books, but that proved to be rather difficult. I have a hard time picking out my favorite book because I'm like, well, out of what genre? And then like, oh, can you go even deeper? Like, can I pick out of a series? Does it have to be the first book? It was too hard. So we're gonna do top 5 favorite book series. So let's get started. Okay, so number 5 would be the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. I absolutely loved these books. I picked them up because I thought the cover was just gorgeous, and when I heard that they were taking place in the 1800s, I just knew I had to check them out because I am obsessed with the Victorian time period. And then on top of all that, it's steampunk, which just makes it better. I kind of think of myself as Tessa. We're very similar. Like, we both have, brown hair. We both love reading. I just thought it was really, interesting that we were kind of similar. And then, of course, Will Herondale. I'm absolutely in love with him. He's like the perfect man. He's tall, dark, and handsome, and he has a perfect memory, so he can just quote books just right off the bat. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk about it. I love him so much. I really loved that you couldn't ever really tell who she was going to end up with, and that it wasn't like a real love triangle because Will and Jem were just such good friends, and it was always, funny and witty, and it just was really entertaining. Clockwork Princess just ripped out my heart, all of it. Oh my god. It was just insane. I did really like how they ended. I didn't ever read the Mortal Instruments, and I thought about it, but my friend said that they're not nearly as good as the Infernal Devices, so I probably won't because I don't want it to kill my dreams. But moving on, number 4 is probably the Harry Potter series. Now, I'm sure most of you would rank the Harry Potter series way higher, but when I really sat down and thought about it, I was like, well, it's definitely in my top 5, but where does it fall? And when I looked at the rest of my top 5, I'm like, yeah, it's probably number 4. I grew up watching the movies, and I had never actually read the books until last summer. I was finally just like, you know what? Why haven't I read these books? I just need to go ahead and do it. And of course I loved them because they're just so much better than the movies. I did think that the movies did a really good job up until you get to I don't know, maybe the 4th one, because they get a little bit longer. Of course, the 3rd one did make much more sense once you read it because of all the time traveling. But I do fancy myself a Potterhead. I do have a Pottermore account. I've found out what type of wand I have. I am a Ravenclaw, a proud Ravenclaw, and I'm very happy with that because they were always my favorite house. I just liked that they valued intelligence. I just thought that was interesting. And I did like the Slytherins a lot. I think they get a lot of hate because they churn out some evil wizards, but I still think they're great. And of course, I love Malfoy. He's just amazing. My least favorite house, I mean, a lot of people say that it's Hufflepuff, but mine might be Gryffindor. I don't know. I just think that they get so much love, and I don't really know why. But, I mean, all the characters practically are Gryffindors, so I guess maybe they're not my least favorite, but we'll see. My favorite characters were, of course, Fred and George. I cried when they, that whole scene. Oh my gosh, that was just so upsetting. I couldn't believe that J.K. Rowling did that, but anyway, I try and move on with my life. I'm not nearly as obsessed as my little cousin, but hey, we can't all be as obsessive as she is. Anyway, number 3 is definitely the Selection series by Kira Class. I absolutely loved that series. A lot of people don't like it, and I can understand why. I mean, America does get a little irritating. It is kind of like, oh my god, can't you see that you're both in love with each other? Why are you dragging it out? But I really loved them, and maybe it didn't seem so drug out to me because I read each book in a day. So I read the whole series in 3 days, which did help. I read them on my Kindle. So basically, I downloaded it and then I just started reading it, and all of a sudden, I was just hooked. Like, I just ate it up like candy. It was like amazing. I really liked that it was a dystopian, but it wasn't a dystopian, but it also wasn't a utopian. It was just kind of this happy middle. And I mean, I love princesses and the fancy dresses, and I just thought all that was really cute. So I did really, really enjoy it. I especially liked the fourth book, which is called The Heir. If you've read the series and you haven't read that one yet, it is amazing. It is my favorite book, and I really connected with this book on such a personal level because me and Adlin are very, very similar in like the way that she thinks and just like what she does, and I couldn't get over it. Like, we were like the same person. I know I said before that I'm like Tessa, but personality-wise, I'm like very connected to this character, and I loved it so much, and it ended on like a cliffhanger, so I'm just dying until the next book comes out. So if you haven't read these books because a lot of people say that they're not good, then just don't listen to them, just give them a shot, because that's what I did, and hey, look at me, I loved them, so take my word for it. Or not, you don't have to take my word for anything, but, anyway, moving on. My number 2 is definitely the Finishing School series. I recently listened to these in the car, and they were not at all what I expected, and I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's not a bad thing because these books were just amazing. They were steampunk, they were in the 1800s, which I love both those things, and they were so, like, quirky and witty, and oh my gosh, I couldn't get over it. Once I read the first one, because I actually did read that one, and then I listened to the other two, I just immediately had to download Curtsies and Conspiracies so I could just get right back on it and keep reading, because they are so good. When I found out that it was only going to be 4 books, I was so upset, because I thought maybe she'd write more than 4, because, Sephonia won't be out of school yet, so maybe there'd be more until she graduates, but no, sadly, it is going to end with Manners and Mutiny, but hopefully everything will be resolved and it'll just be really satisfying because these books are just so good. I honestly would like to see her end up with nobody because I don't think Sephonia needs with anybody. She's very independent. But of course, if I had to pick a team, I am on Team Felix because Felix makes me swoon so hard. Every time he's in a scene, I just can't get over myself. I don't know what happens, but he just is so swoon-worthy. And I like Soap. Soap's fun, but Soap's a friend to me. I just think he's more friend-worthy, but obviously after how Waistcoats and Weaponry ended, I have a feeling Sophronia's going to end up with Soap, but we won't know until November. Alright, the moment you've all been waiting for. Insert drumroll here. I probably won't because I'm not that tech savvy. My number 1 book series, I'm sure you could have guessed, is the Percy Jackson series. I am, after all, still waiting for my satyr. I loved these books. I read the original series, like, over a summer. They were just so amazing. Like, I'm one of those that when the movie came out, I saw the movie, and I really liked the movie. So I'm like, I'm gonna read these books. And I read the first one, and I'm like, this isn't like the movie at all. It's so much better. And then you go back and watch the movie, and you're like, this is utter crap. What did they do? Did they just, like, look at the book and go, nah, we're just gonna do our own thing? I mean, oh, those movies make me so angry. When I heard that they officially got trashed and they're not doing The Titan's Curse, I got really excited because The Titan's Curse is my favorite out of the original series. And then I also, really love Heroes of Olympus because it continues on, and it was nice to see new characters come in. And I really loved House of Hades. I couldn't believe how The Mark of Athena ended, and I can't believe what Rick Riordan did to poor Percy and Annabeth. But regardless, that book was really good. I was actually very sad when I finished Blood of Olympus because 10 Percy Jackson books, and now there's not going to be any more. That was kind of a sad moment, but it did end on a happy note, and I am happy where he ended it. I found myself really liking Leo, and I really like how his arc, ended. I thought that was a really nice thing. I've reread all those books at least 3 times. They're so good. And I really wish that the movies could, be given another chance, but, animated and perfect, because that would make it so much better. I even own a Camp Half-Blood t-shirt, which when I saw that they actually made those, I'm like, I'm getting myself one, and I'm gonna wear it forever. And I do, because I love it so much, even though it's highlighter orange, but that's okay. Makes me easier to spot. So there you have it, you guys, my top 5 favorite book series. Have you guys read any of these? Have these made your top 5? Go ahead and let me know. I hope you all had a fabulous Book Lovers Day. Even if you didn't know it was Book Lovers Day, I still hope you had a fabulous day. I just started The Dead and Gone. I'm not as into it as I was for Life as We Knew It. I think that's mainly because I'm reading the audio, or I'm listening to the audio. The narrator has this really deep voice, and it doesn't really match the voice of a 16-year-old, so it's kind of throwing me off, and I kind of know how it's going to end because I've read Life as We Knew It, but I'm going to keep going with it for a little bit longer before I decide what I'm going to do, because who knows, it might pick up. I literally have 30 pages left of A Wicked Thing, so if I don't finish that tonight, I will definitely be finishing that tomorrow. I'm really interested to see where this book is going to end. I do know it's going to be a series, so I'm very, very, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen to Aurora, because she's in a kind of a weird spot. I really like how the author has, set this up. It's very different. I've never really read this story in this way, so it's very interesting, very cool. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to read when I'm done with it. Like I said before, I am moving into school pretty soon, so I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to get any new books. So I am either going to check out some stuff, on the Amazon bookstore, because I have a Kindle, or I might just do some rereading, which is always good, because I used to not review books. I used to just star them and think that was good enough, but there's a bunch of books that I've read that I have not reviewed, so rereading might actually do me some good. But until I figure that out, I will see you guys on Friday.